So today we're talking Bridal Confidential and we're using a 3-walled set. We're in Studio 1, but as you can see we've obliterated the church window. Just behind the net curtain here on a background support pole, we've got one of the Last Light highlights, but this is a 7.6, so it's not the biggest of the collection of the Last Light the highlights. It's big enough. It just fits into the window bay without any trouble. The difference from me to your studios is you're going to get a little bit of spill and ambient wrap from the actual flash, because remember, if you're using a highlight, the light will actually spill out of the top, spill out the sides and start to wrap itself around. Whereas obviously with my high ceilings here, there's basically no wrap going on at all. First thing to do, obviously the 3-walled, so I'm going to be photographing from where your camera position is now with my back to you, shooting towards the light source. That's going to be predominantly for the silhouette images. And then what I'm going to be doing is basically photographing from the light source towards the client. So that's going to give me either a grey background or it's going to give me the flower wall background on the side. Vice versa, then I can move over to the other side and shoot towards here. Obviously with my facility that I've got here, I can move the bed out of shot, where that might be a little bit more restricted for you, but you've just got to adapt your space in the working scenario. 3 sides, obviously I've got a grey wall behind, we've got our flower wall, and we've got our white wall, as it were. This is our light source, so if I'm shooting towards it, as I said, it's silhouette. If I'm photographing towards that wall, it's more of a mid-key or a lower key style of image. And obviously to do with the flower wall here, because of its tonality of the pinks and the light kind of creams, we're naturally going to get a slightly higher tone of image anyway with it. Key thing is, to begin with, there's hardly any difference in metering. I'm just going to meter from here towards the light source. That's going to be my working exposure pretty much the whole time. Remember, as I meter towards this light source and I get my working exposure, if I turn and shoot towards this direction and I turn the client around to me, there's basically no light coming backwards. But if I do bring in a reflector panel or a light board, basically the light bouncing back from here to here is going to give me some exposure, but it's probably going to be a 2-stop difference. The way that I work with this will be just in ISO. So I'm going to maintain the 125th at f4 that I'm metered for towards here. The 125th of second is going to pretty much obliterate any of the ambient light in the scene, as you can see from these 2 photographs. So this is the first photograph where there's just the ambient light with our working exposure 125th of 4, then switching on the flash, and you can see what the actual flash is doing itself. So when I then move to the camera position where their backs are turned towards here and I'm trying to give a more of a high key look, ISO by 2 stops or 1 stops, depends how far away the bed is or how far away the subject is from the background itself, will basically allow us to get a much more higher key and a light and a bright look in things. So there's 3 stages to this shoot. The first part is all to do with the bed. Second stage is going to be removing the bed and basically using a combination of the walls and basically the silhouette style. And then the third part is when we're in more of a portrait mode. So in other words, we're actually working with the light. So first stage is using the bed, kneeling, laying, and as well as laying on their tummy, laying on their back, both shooting with the light and against the light. Second stage then is removing the bed from the scene, basically just concentrating first of all with the grey wall, photographing from 3 angles, in other words, from where camera position is back towards here, from the flower wall towards the wall, and then from within the light source towards here as well. That's our 3 angles, so it's kind of a dancing as we move around. Third stage then is basically turning my camera position around and I'm just using the flower wall, and we'll kind of create the images there. If we wanted to as well, we could take the flower wall off the background support, lay it down on the floor to actually get some other images as well and things really. But the 3 sections to here. As far as the clothing's concerned, we've given the client a shoot list of what to bring in. The main thing for me to have in studio is a veil as well as a robe, so we can actually cover over. Clients been requested to bring in a variety of lingerie, but of course, like all clients, you never know until they're here, but it has to be the client's lingerie themselves. Depends on the different figures, on the different shapes. Obviously, the different lingerie will suit their style. The main thing to remember that no matter what you call this is a boudoir shoot. So we need to make sure we're minimizing the figure. We always turn the female body away from the light source as much as we can, and we're always looking to lose a third. So if we haven't lost a third of the body by its body position, we need to reanimate or repose the subject to make sure we're doing that. So when I'm photographing towards the light source here, and I'm shooting across here, I need to make sure the body is turned away from this light and the head is either turned back towards it. When I'm photographing in the silhouette, so the client's back is just to me here, I need to just turn the body a little bit, depends on their shape and size, to be the perfect image for them. So all the time what we're trying to do is make sure we're creating a softness and a shaping of the body through the pose. We're going to use the veiling to actually soften, just like we would in a normal boudoir session. So we're going to start off in bra and knickers and robe before we actually then bring in the veil to actually bring a little bit more kind of wedding feel. So we've got Briony, our model today. Briony, come on in for me. We're going to just kneel facing towards the light for me, with your back to me if you could, please. Knees quite apart. That's good. Let me just do a quick shot. Okay, Briony, if you move over to your right for me, please. That's good, a little bit. Turn towards me a touch, just with the knees as well. That's lovely. And just looking down towards the pillows themselves. That's gorgeous. And again, bring the robe and actually grab it and actually kind of bring it in towards the tummy. That's lovely, it's there again. Keep it. Can you sit back down actually onto the bum? That's lovely, it's there, let's do it. Same thing. Closer up. Twist the head around towards me more. That's lovely, looking down again. So as you can see from that, what we've got is the kind of the near silhouette images. So even though we're shooting these in color, probably going to be black and white. But remember what I was saying about the exposure. At this point, this is my main light source, so I can actually come to this position and take a shot, perfect exposure straight away. Straight at me, please, Briony. That's lovely. Just bring the hands up towards here again. A little lean with the head on the side for me. It's gorgeous. Happier. There you go, relax. So you can see we've got the perfect exposure. But now, because we're with the light, we're getting more of the solid light source. When we're working against the light, we get this lovely highlight, this kind of white and high key kind of look and feel and so on. So be careful how you're running the shoot so you get the kind of images that you want. Right, Briony, if you just drop it off your shoulders for me fully. Still come up on the kneel just a little bit higher for me and twist the body around towards the side. That's lovely. Still looking down towards the pillow or the bed. That's lovely. And again, keep it. Can you turn profile fully for me? So with the feet and knees as well. Come in the middle of the bed a touch. Nope, you were perfect there. Yeah. Kneeling back down again, sitting back down, looking straight down towards the actual hands. Just down towards your hands, that's lovely. Can you push the hair back just a little bit more for me? That's lovely. And again, closer up again. And of course, if I want this to go into the high key, all I need to do is adjust my ISO up that one stop, add a slight reflector panel in. And I've got a lovely high key image as well. Okay, so we can do the same thing, 3/4 length, full length. But the main difference in it's the ISO that has made a difference to that exposure, just the one full stop. So we move from 100 ISO to 200 ISO with it. Okay, so just looking towards here for me, twist the body around towards there a little bit and turn the head towards here. It's gorgeous. Keep it. A little lower the chin, just a touch. Happier, just a little bit. Shot with ring as well. Stay there for me. I'll shoot the close-up of the ring in reverse. So you can see what I did on the walk through. The main thing was to change back my ISO. That's the key element, yeah? Otherwise, everything's going to be at the wrong kind of exposure. Just getting in the detail of the ring and the bra and the actual robe as well with it. Just all the textures that we've got going on. Don't forget to get the fuller length, so the whole scene as well. Okay. Let's get you just laying down onto your side. It's lovely. Drop the robe off this right shoulder for me if we can. And you're going to be looking towards your right, please, Briony. Can you just bring the left foot over more for me? And now bring the right foot back. That's lovely. Keep it. Keep it there for me. It's lovely. One more. So in the same way, with the light source, just bring the robe back up again. Lean just actually onto the arms more. That's lovely. Turn a little lean with the head. Straight at me. Okay. Relax.